I think I have to agree. Okay, got it.
Yay, well, not live, but we're on. We're here together recording. Hello. Today I am with a really good friend of mine, Wenn Townsend. Known her for, oh my gosh, long
We
time.
don't need to quantify it.
A very long time. And she's someone who took one of my class series. And so I thought that it would be really nice to just talk with her a little bit today and ask her some questions and share with you. She's willing to share her experience with us. So hi, Wen.
Hi. I'd love to talk about your class. It was so
Great.
great. For everybody listening, I live in Minnesota, so it's kind of awesome that we've all gotten so savvy at these virtual things because I could take your class from across the country, which was awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you took my class, you were in Minnesota. We had someone where I am. We had someone in New York.
Yep.
It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty great that we can even do this interview
Yeah. It's
and you
nice to
don't have to
connect with
be in
people.
the same place I am. Great. So, yeah, so you live in Minnesota and you do real estate now,
Correct.
real
Yep.
estate agent. Yep.
Yep.
And do you want to say anything about that or share anything about that?
Sure. Yeah, I've been doing real estate since 2009. Off and on. It took a break, around 2012, but mostly real estate over the past 13, 14 years.
Mhm.
Love it. But like any career, it goes through changes and there's been, lots of changes in the real estate market on top of lots of changes, in one's personal life. So I think at the time when I started taking your class, was coming up on becoming an empty nester, basically. So it's kind of
Mhm.
a big,
Big
big,
life change.
big life change for me. So that always affects everything, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. You can tell us in a little bit how the class maybe helped you through that a little
Yeah,
bit. But
absolutely.
good. So the class that you did, I
Mhm.
called Pathways to Your Power. I I I don't know why I always love using this word power because I think of empowerment, and I'm really passionate about empowering women in their lives in different ways.
Mhm.
Personally, I've done that in lots of ways, through teaching yoga, through sports and skating, and now I'm doing these energetic embodiment practices, and it's just this like next version or level of how I have
Yeah.
empowered myself and how I can help other women be empowered in their lives. So power is a word I use a lot. And I know power can have like a negative connotation sometimes, if you connect it to other things, but that's not how I'm using it. I'm using it as empowerment
Only when misused is
only when
power bad.
misused. That's right. Power does not
Otherwise, we should want everyone to feel and be powerful, right?
That's right. Power used for good. That's what we're about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that class is really that was Pathways to Your Power, and we
I
were,
loved it.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I loved the class. I really, in all honesty, Marcia, you're a good friend of mine, and I signed up for the class to support you in your business. I had no idea what I was getting into.
I,
But then I took the class and I was like, holy cow, this is really cool.
yeah, and I think my conversation to invite you was kind of like, hey, come do it.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. And then I get in there and, I already have a meditation practice. So I feel like it's something you can use no matter what else you do spiritually or health wise. I feel like it really goes hand in hand, or at least for me, I felt like it really went hand in hand with the meditation practice I already have in place. And it just kind of enhanced, and backed up everything, and kind of gave me some new practices to kind of do even in the car, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I really like that you say that because I was thinking about that too. like I know a little bit about your spiritual journey and meditation and stuff like that. And I just love the way you say that. That's been my experience too, is it just sort of enhances what's already
Yeah.
there and
Hmm.
adds this extra, like an extra way to explore things,
Yeah. Yeah.
in a really deep way. And so, and a fun way. I mean, I think it's fun, some of the things we do,
Yeah.
some of the
Yeah.
practices, you walk around and do different things. And
For
um,
sure.
so yeah, I love that you said that. That is so true. And I'm glad you had that experience as well. Um, yeah, so I got notes here, so I'm
All
checking
right.
notes.
I'm going to take a sip of my coffee while you do
Yes, and you know how it goes when you're interviewing somebody, you have questions and they answer them before you ask them.
that.
It works out really well. Good. So I can ask it in different ways. Yeah, so initially you just joined because I was like, hey, you're my friend. I
I'm
love
like,
it.
okay, she's doing something. I really want to check it out and I'll support her. Yeah.
Right, right.
For sure.
So no specific like reason, just to like check it out. And we're kind of already here. Like what did you come away with? How did it empower you?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I was already working on some stuff that I'd really kind of been, you know, pondering over and analyzing for 6 to 9 months at the time. I'm clearly an overthinker. 6 to 9 months. Come on. Um, so I didn't necessarily go into your class with the intention to work on this, but it's what I was working on. So naturally that's what came up for me.
Yeah.
So basically I knew I needed to make some life changes. When doesn't that happen? Life is constantly changing, right? And sometimes it's stuff, I can just, you know, run with. You go with the flow, you expect changes in some areas, and some areas are a little bit more difficult, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes something needs to change. You just don't know what it is. You don't know how it's going to change, but it's
Mm.
got to change. you know? And so one thing your class did was one, it put me in this environment with other women where it felt really safe and non-judgmental to kind of bring it up.
Mm.
And they were all really powerful women already, which
Mhm.
of course just went up, levels up as the class, continues on.
Mhm.
And um, so we've got these powerful women, and we're doing this practice together. And it just opened up a lot in me to get out of my sort of thinking body
Mhm.
and into more of my intuition. So, I mean, I think I could analyze something to death. And, we all know what we think of things normally. We know how we feel, maybe your feelings are trying to tell you something, and
Mhm.
then you start to think about it. But then, if you can get there, you find out you actually know,
Yeah.
you know something about it. You might
Right.
not know exactly everything, but you know something about it. So for me, it was getting into that space where I could remember that I
Mhm.
already know
Mm. Yes. Yes.
something,
Yep.
get out of that thinking space and into trusting my intuition and believing what I already know, and
Yeah.
not being told that what I know is not true,
Mhm.
you
Having
know.
that supported. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that when you deeply know something, you really people might try to shake you out of it. So it's
Yeah.
good to remind yourself that you know.
Yeah, it really is. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's a big part of what these practices do is connect you to that really intuitive part where we do know, it's inherent in each of us that we
Yeah.
we have this intuitive voice inside of us, and we all experience that in different ways, but it is in our body, it's not
Yeah.
inside our body. Well, it's in our energetic field too, but
Yeah.
within that space,
Mhm.
it's there,
Yeah,
and trusting it is, like you said, is kind of the biggest hurdle sometimes.
it is.
Just don't trust it.
And it feels different. When you think something about a situation or you think something about your home life, your work life, or whatever it is that you're working on, I think there's something that comes along with that. Like you have to prove that what you think is correct or something like that. Some scientific, analyzation of details.
Why is it true?
Why is this true? You know, and when you're working with the energies that you're talking about, you stop, at least for me, what happened was I stopped feeling like I needed to justify what I knew,
Yeah. Oh, very nicely said. Yeah.
and it feels different to know something than to just think something.
It really does. Yeah, we had a really nice conversation at some point about that, about intuition
Yeah.
and what that's like, because it's not thinking and it's really different.
Yeah.
But
And
it's a knowing and it's clear, but it's really different.
yeah. Yeah.
That's so well said. Got to pull the notes back up. Um, so what were any of the practices that you did that you experienced that you've used? Have you been using any of them in your life since that class?
Yeah. So as a real estate agent, I'm in my car a lot, Today I'm in my office, but there's a couple of practices that we did that I felt I could do pretty well in my car as I'm going around, which is kind of nice. You don't have to, you can, sort of set this intentional space where you're really getting into it.
Mhm.
Or some of them seemed simple enough for me to just use in the car, which I liked.
Mhm.
And you'll have to remind me what this is called because I have a horrible memory. And so the one where you're kind of in your body and you're kind of feeling out your energy and kind of expanding it or pulling it back in.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that practice.
Nice.
And I've also enjoyed, reminding myself, sometimes I'll hear your voice reminding me to, get down into that intuitive space and out of my head.
Yeah.
That one, I probably, that comes up a lot. Just
Yeah.
stop. Your body gets tight. You're overthinking it. Just stop, get down in your body. It's more relaxing. So those two things have popped up the most for me.
Nice. Yeah. So the first one is, we call it your light globe, like that energetic presence that you have. And that practice is really about increasing your energetic presence.
Nice.
Um, and the other one, yeah, it's like this like head bubble versus in your body thing, like
Yes.
outside your body, inside your body. And we refer to that space inside your body and your belly as home, like that's your home
Mhm.
base, and it's great that you're saying this the way you are, because this is one thing I love about these practices is that they're really powerful, but they can be used anywhere, like
Mhm.
that. There are some that you're not going to just do everywhere, but you can. And the great thing about energetic work is you can actually um, sort of imagine something or feel into it, and the energy of it will be put out,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So if I want to, like, sort of, let's say one of our practices is like stop projecting, and you stop, you really learn how to like authentically, and it's really just being from the home, right? Like being home
Mhm.
is like how you find your sort of authentic voice. But I could just sit here and feel into that energy, and you're going to feel something different from me.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have to really do much. It's so learning that energetic process is a big game changer for me. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's really different than other things. And like you said, can even enhance the things that you're already doing if you have different
Mhm.
practices. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you're if anyone's working on confidence,
Mm-hmm.
it's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, if I'm about to go into a meeting or conversation with someone, I can remind myself to get home in my body,
Yeah.
or get into that intuitive space. And I feel way more confident going in.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm not distracted by my thoughts or emotions or anything like that. I'm definitely, I'm me. I'm
Yep.
going in as me,
Yep.
and I feel confident about it. And I think that applied for me with making changes, the changes that I needed to make at the time,
Mm-hmm.
was that I could go into knowing I needed to change something with full confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt pretty unshakable about it. And I think part of that is because of this practice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, and it
Mhm.
can like, now it doesn't mean you don't practice, like you want to practice it like anything else, right? You practice and you get better at it and
Mhm.
you can do it more quickly and you can do it, but it is a quick shift, like just a
Yeah.
really quick shift in your energy. Um, and we all have, some people are more in their bodies naturally, right? But
Yeah.
even with that, this is just, we all have that stuff that just like we overthink or just get in our heads, or that's like where our fear lives, is this like mind message, it's just a pattern in
Yeah.
our minds. So this is such a nice quick way to get out of that. And
Yeah.
I know for myself, I do very similar to what you've done, what you're talking about, like being in a car and going somewhere and just using the practice. And I also like to practice it like just looking at someone in the eyes and then coming home. And like, it just makes this beautiful, not only confidence, but safety, for
Mhm.
yourself. It's like this natural way to just feel okay and safe in the world and can go about being who you are
Yeah.
without worrying too much. Good. Let's see. I think I have, well, I also appreciate you already mentioned something about just getting to do this with other women.
Mhm.
And I know at the time that was like partly what intrigued you too, or that you liked about joining the group, was that you got some like women time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was so great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and the other women that you were with are also just beautiful women. And just so everyone knows, I think all women are beautiful. I truly do. And I think we all are powerful and have so much to offer the world. And so uh, anyone who comes and joins this work with me, that's the space I'm holding for you. That's the not intention, but that's who I think you are inside. So power up.
I love it.
Good. So anything else, that just any last thing you might want to say to other women who might be thinking about taking a class with me or a class series?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say just go for it. You might not even know why, but if you're
Mhm.
considering it, there
Yeah,
could be a reason,
yeah,
or a reason why it's come across your path.
right.
And I think, you know, it's so simple and so powerful. And, I do find time with women very sacred and I get a lot out of it. So there's also that piece.
Yeah.
I think it's just really useful yet simple. And as soon as you do it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I
Mm.
know this place.
Yeah. I
You know,
love that so much.
yeah.
Yeah, it's my mission this year to build community of women, not just around this work, but just in general to support
Yeah.
women in their lives. And I chose that focus because I really think there's something so, gosh, I love this word, powerful, in um in just women supporting each other. I mean, that's not
Mhm.
always what we're taught and encouraged to do in the world,
Yeah.
like making safe space and supporting each other and backing each other and encouraging each other is just such a beautiful way
Mhm.
to be together as women. And there is something as women that can happen, when we
Yes,
get
for sure. And when you're doing this with other women, it's just a great reminder of how powerful we are and how powerful intuition is. And when we come together, there's really no stopping us. So
Yeah, girl, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Um, yeah, thank you so much for just taking time out of your busy real estate life
of course,
to
for
do
you,
this with
anything.
me. I loved it. Yeah. And I will talk to you soon, and I'll talk to everyone else watching this video soon, I hope. And I'm gonna just send out details about my upcoming classes, and you can be like When. Change your life. Trust your intuition. Thank you, everyone. Bye, When.
Bye.
Thank you.